basically I'm an NRL stuff where it is that I play Harry. That's what you hear. Definitely not. That's a mate of mine just want to say. It's really good. The only problem for me is it's in Newcastle, so it's a trek. We'll do something on it now. Starts catching up with you very quickly. Which one's which? We always at different levels. Which one's number 1? So that's Harry at number 2. So, Harry?
That's one.
Yeah. I'm on 1. Get your microphone adjusted to start today.
Hopefully I don't get
Good afternoon and welcome to Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility where the sun is shining, the atmosphere is building and finals football is here to deliver once again. I'm Chris McPherson bringing you all the action for today's minor semi-final of the Northern New South Wales Football Men's NPL competition. It is the Edgeworth Eagles up against the Lambton Jaffas in a do-or-die knockout clash. The stakes cannot be higher. Win today and you keep the dream alive with a ticket to next week's preliminary final. Lose and it's season over. For Edgeworth, this is all about redemption after last week's heartbreaking 2-1 qualifying final loss to Western here at Spears Point on Monday night. They played over 80 minutes with 10 men and still managed to score first, hit the post, have 2 cleared off the line, and they fought hard until the end. The result didn't go their way. Coach Peter McGuinness said he couldn't fault their attitude or application, and if they bring that same energy today, they will be right in the contest. But they'll need to be at their best because the Jaffas are one of the hottest teams in the competition right now. 7 matches unbeaten, playing beautiful football, knocking the ball around confidently, and coming off a strong 3-1 win over Maitland last weekend. Their coach, David Tanchevsky, has them humming, and they'll be desperate to continue their pursuit of a 3rd championship in 4 years. The big storyline for Jaffas fans, though, Jimmy Oates, Lambton's in-form midfielder, looks set to miss the game with a hamstring injury picked up in the elimination final. He'll be replaced by Matt Cahill in the starting lineup, and that's a significant blow, but it also opens the door for others to shine in his absence. Certainly is, after the weather we've had in recent weeks, a gorgeous afternoon. The crowd is rolling in, and we have 2 proud rival clubs about to put it all on the line. The stage is set. Undoubtedly, the players will have the nerves. They'll be jangling, and this one has all the makings of a classic. Alongside me, local football pundit Harry Scobie. Harry, when you look at this matchup, where do you see the game being won and lost?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Chris. I think today the midfield battle is going to be really key. I think Edgeworth, especially on Monday night's clash with Western, had to show a lot of grit in that middle of the park there. They've had a few players that have had to play out of position that usually play in the midfield. We look at the likes of Andy Powiak, who's always solidified his spot in the middle, but a couple of others who sort of, had to change roles and shift. And we know that the Jaffas midfield's really picked up this back end of the season. The likes of Joey Langlois come into his own, scored a few crackers, and like you mentioned, Pat Bond with a worldie last week as well. So I think this midfield battle is going to be crucial today, and yeah, hugely pumped for this one.
It's an interesting one. We talked about this last week when we called that Lambton-Maitland game, Harry. Lambton, it's been a season of 2 halves, if you will, to take a twist on the play on words of a game of 2 halves. They couldn't buy a goal in the first half of the season, but they've now scored something in the realm of 26 goals in their last 5 games. It's all of a sudden like there's been some sort of switch flicked. We saw 2 goals from long distance last week, one from Tom Waller and that one into the top corner from Pat Bond. They just look like they've really found what's clicking and what's working for them. However, they come up against one of the best defences in the competition.
Exactly. That's why I'm, super keen for this one today, is to see the best defence in the league come up against a side who's finding the back of the net so consistently as of recent weeks. And I think you hit the nail on the head there, Chris. It's a Jaffas side who's finding the back of the net, in most of their games. Even, we look at the last 5. I think they've scored about 3 in nearly each and every one of them. So really keen to see how this Jaffas attack faces against this strong Edgeworth defence today.
Well, as I said, it is do or die. The winner will take on the loser of tomorrow's major semi-final between minor premiers Broadmeadow Magic and the Western Bears, who we touched on, defeated Edgeworth again last week. It's obviously a big opportunity. The stage is set for it. Let's take a look at how the 2 teams line up. If you want to take us through the Lambton Jaffas line up first, Harry.
Yeah, for sure. Number 1, the veteran Ben Kennedy. Number 3, Pat Bond. Number 6, Joey Langlois. Number 10, Archie Finn. Number 11, Lockie Griffiths. Number 15, Sam Donnellan. Number 17, the 200 gamer Riley McNaughton. Number 23, Tom Waller. Number 24 into the starting side, Matty Cahill. Number 25, Jordan Gu. Number 44, Nikolai Topple-Stanley on the bench for David Tancheski's side. Number 21, Jack Pandell. Number 5 is Blake Carter. Number 7, Lockie Graham. And number 12, Oscar Krakenthorpe. Number 14, Riley Taylor. Miles Gaffney in 18 and Carter Smith in jersey number 19.
And the Edgeworth Eagles in goals will be number 1, Ben Conway. 3 is Finn Bolton. 4, Xander Wowries. He'll partner in defence in the centre of the back line with number 5, Tyler Harrison. 6 is Chris Fayers. 7, Andy Powiak. Number 10, Jose Atadi. Number 11, their goal scorer last week, Flynn Goodman. Number 12, Jalen Rodwell. Number 15, Jackson Brady. And number 19, who'll play on the edge of defence, Tyson Jackson. Their substitutes will be number 13, Mason King. Number 8, Joe Melmoth. Number 14, Joey Smith. Number 16, Riley Van Haren. Number 18, Alex Jones. Number 20, Nick Curran. And number 21, Ethan Lewis. And they are, of course, coached by Peter McGuinness. And I tell you what, Harry, how nice is it to have some sunshine?
Absolutely incredible. We see a few clouds coming over, but nonetheless it's just been such a beautiful day, and we look at some of the fixtures that have been played here earlier, which have been streamed on the Northern New South Wales YouTube channel, and just, yeah, such a refreshing change to see such nice weather.
It is. It's a little bit of a treat, I guess. The silver lining of all this weather and the fact that we've been forced here for a lot of fans is you can come here and there's just so much happening here today. Obviously, you know, before we had the semi-final of the Northern League 1 reserve grade. On the other field at the moment, we've got about to kick off the semi-final of promotion relegation playoff between Singleton and Valentine. After these games, we're going to have the women's NPL clashes as well. So we've got Charlestown and Maitland. We've got a reserve grade clash as well in their major semi-finals. Teams ready to book spots in the grand final. It's wonderful, but of course, the great thing is every week across the finals, and already this year, you can catch all those games live and free on the YouTube channel anyway. So it's nice and set. It is set the stage at the moment. We've got Edgeworth in their predominantly black kit. Lambton in their yellow jerseys. We are ready almost moments, well, only moments away from kickoff in this do or die clash. 90 minutes to determine it, maybe a little bit more. We'll wait and see. But it is going to be Edgeworth going from right to left of your screen. It looks like it'll be Flynn Goodman to get us started. Northern New South Wales men's NPL minor semi-final. Edgeworth up against Lambton. And we're underway here at Spears Point. And straight away looking for those long diagonal balls. A little heavy the touch for Finn Bolton. He couldn't reel it in. Donnellan takes the throw. Tell you what, Sammy Donnellan, they new kicks there, Harry. They're certainly bright, aren't they? They're right in front of us here. So
I think I might have seen them earlier in the season, but certainly bright for sure.
Some of the boys will have some different boots on the synthetic versus what they might use on the turf, especially with the softer turf and the muddier fields we've had in recent weeks.
Yeah, I think Pat Bond as well. I don't think I've seen him in the black boots before, so certainly right.
See if he can still finish into the top bins from there with those boots on. Bond plays it across. Very congested there. Gu with a half chance. Couldn't get around Wowries, the man who, just from some angles, was, well, not from some angles, but he was red carded early in that game on Monday night. Harry, you had the benefit of that, but that red card was expunged, so able to play today. Realistically, this is, you know, as good as it's going to get in the men's NPL, isn't it? But when you have a look at these games, do or die, both sides very close to full strength. When you have a look at their top tier squads, only really Aaron Pettisano out of action for Edgeworth. And then on the other side, in terms of players we've seen for the majority of the year, as we touched on, just Jimmy Oates. I mean, Matt Butner obviously has been out for a big part of the year, but these clubs are as close to full strength as you're going to get at any point.
Yeah, and this is where you want teams to be at full strength, Chris, in the right part of the time in the season, and it's huge for both teams to have full strength sides.
Certainly is. Trying to create something here, but just a little disjointed from Griffiths. A bit of wind here, which is, I think, causing a bit of problems for some of these lofted passes. You can probably hear it coming through the microphones a little with that wind drifting in as Conway races out to this and just Stabs it across the line.
I have to admit, quite early, it's been a fast start from the Jaffas. I know we're only minutes in, but just want to touch on as well Jordan Gu, who's been a huge mid-season signing. He's already showed promising signs early in the season.
Opportunity here. Speaking of Gu, there he is. Jackson Brady just trying to clear it away. Waller tries to cross it in, but too heavy. Interesting sliding doors moment for Jordan Gu here right now. His former club that he's with, you know, the first half of the season, they're playing on the other field here. He's trying to survive as well in a very different way up against Singleton and Valentine in the promotion relegation playoff. So, yeah, as I said, very sliding doors moment here. He is fighting to get to the last three sides when he could have been, you know, battling for trying to keep a side in the NPL.
Yeah, exactly, and I think himself along with Carter Smith as well, I believe, who was at Valentine earlier in the season. Those two in prime position now in the NPL men's final series.
Certainly are. Seeing Waller going and just getting a little last touch there before it went out. Edgeworth, very congested the way both teams are playing there. Not utilising and spreading space early, which is interesting. Just getting into a battle, very congested, very narrow the way both sides are setting up, Harry.
Yeah, and I think we can see it right in front of our eyes here, but Tyson Jackson's a player, or a fullback essentially, who loves to get forward. So interesting to see they haven't looked over to his side yet.
It's peeled off here. If he can get the ball, they're going to have to react quickly, and they do try and do that. Well deflected there, and straight away going on the counter-attack through Griffith. Jackson tracking back, trying to outmuscle, and does well, get his body in there. And what about that? Manages to get back to his feet, take possession, plays it forward. The 200 gamer in McNaughton takes it away. Again, what a milestone that is for this man who's, you know, been the heart and soul of this Lambton club for a long time now. I think he's played in 3 or 4 premierships for the club over the last 11 or 12 years.
Yeah, sometimes I think he actually goes quite underrated. He's a very good centre-back who's had the pleasure, of being alongside Nikolai Topper-Stanley for around 2 years now, and his game's just really grown. Just such a calm, composed centre-back, and certainly really good in the air as well.
Yeah, I think some people sometimes underestimate. He's not the traditional build. If you have a look at the other 3 centre-backs that are out here today, they are all very prototypical centre-backs. Topper-Stanley, Wowries and Harrison, tall, broad, physical. But McNaughton, he's just so gritty, and that, you know, I guess goes to the fact that he's managed to survive and play 200 games in this competition, and done so, you know, at the Jaffas, where he's I was going to say he's just short of, he is royalty at the Jaffas. Now Waller with the throw, trying to work it around Cahill, gets a little touch, turns it back. A little too heavy though, just trickles away. Really feels, you know, I use that word, the words jangling nerves in the introduction, and I think it really sums up. Everyone seems a little on edge out there at the moment. Obviously, big stakes on the line, as we see Danella take a strike from range, bounces up nicely for Conway. But it just seems edgy. Pardon the pun on Edgeworth, obviously.
Yeah, no, it does. I think, especially from a Jaffas perspective, being a side that wasn't even in finals contention after the first 10 rounds, Chris, they've done really well. And that Edgeworth side, well, the defence speaks for itself, doesn't it? Incredible throughout the season. And like you mentioned, yeah, possibly a few nerves creeping in, knowing what's at stake here today.
Yeah, I'm sure both sides will settle in well. Plenty of experienced campaigners on either team. Now they work it forward. Again, the reward for Edgeworth could be a potential meeting with their bogey side in Western, who've just absolutely given them nightmares this year. I think, if my tally is correct, they've now played each other 4 times. And Edgeworth are yet to come out the winners in any of those. And when you consider, I think Edgeworth have only lost 5 games in all competitions this season, the fact that 4 are against one side, easy to forget that. They could come up against Broadmeadow, who they are, to this point, the only side who's beaten the Magic. Yeah,
and it's another huge, you mentioned earlier what's at stake during this weekend. Another huge clash tomorrow between Magic and Western, and like you mentioned, Edgeworth have had nightmares with the Bears this season.
We'll see how Magic go against them. It's going to be an interesting one, and we'll also have the women's minor semi-final tomorrow, Harry. which will be New Lambton against Newcastle Olympic. No love lost there. They played on Tuesday night, a 4-all draw. So might be plenty of goals on display in that one. So looking forward to the men's and women's final series continuing to advance over the next couple of weeks. It's a jam-packed schedule when you have a look at what's to come. We've also got the promotion relegation final next week and into those, the preliminary finals and grand finals for the men's and women's. So lots to come. And all the New South Wales All-Stars a couple of weeks after the grand final. And Jackson Brady lofts it into the box. Stanley rises to meet it. Goo heads it on. Brought down. Nice control by Bolton. Setting it back now again for Brady. They go wide. Fayers looks across it into the box. Stanley gets the first touch, but a Tatey's there. Playing it back, working it on the angles. What can they conjure here? They try to thread the needle. Hacked away by Langlois. Bolton there again. Clubbed forward. Not really in the favour of anyone intentionally. Goodman will race across. Denellen works forward with him, but the flag goes up for offside. A little more adventurous, a little more attacking from Edgeworth.
I was going to say, yeah, certainly better from the Eagles, and they've grown into this one slowly.
Plenty of football to work into, that is for certain. Plenty of talent on both sides. We are down to the final 4 sides in the NPL. All the 4 that finish in the top 4 on the ladder at the end of the regular season still there. Maitland bid farewell last week after that loss to the Jaffas. The Jaffas conceded the first goal early there. I'm sure David Chanchevsky was quite directive with his team, making sure that wasn't the case again today. McNaughton lofts it forward. Nice ball out in front. Griffiths trying to work. Good muscle from Wowries and just takes it away. And you can see why Edgeworth have been one of the most miserly defences in this competition this year, with Wowries and Harrison's forte in what they can execute at the back. Denellen slides it back for Kennedy, who retreats and happy to let the ball do the work. Now sends it back down, but picks out an opponent. Rodwell going forward. Decides to go wide to Goodman. Goodman up against Denellen. That's a good little battle. Goodman working hard. Denellen just trying to close the angles. Goodman lays off now. Jackson. Changing possession. Working it around. Pushing forward now, Rodwell. Muscled off the ball by Finn. He's not going to be afraid to use his physique.
Saw that heaps last week, didn't we, with Archie Finn?
We certainly did. A few times testing the resolve and patience of the referee, but that's going to be something else interesting to watch here, Harry, is obviously as we get late in this game, if one of the teams is looking like advancing, yellow cards. 2 yellow cards will mean a missed game. This ball's pulled out in front, opportunity here, and struck into the back of the net. Matt Cahill onto the score sheet. Just made it look casual. He's just trotting forward and finished too good for Ben Conway. And the Jaffas draw first blood in the minor semi-final. Early days, they lead 1-0 over Edgeworth.
Well, he's been Jimmy Oates' replacement for this one today, and he certainly rose up to the occasion. It's a lovely ball from Joey Langlois. And Cahill again getting off the shoulder of his defender. Took him a while to bring it down, but he's finished that one expertly, and the Jaffas lead 1-0.
Just under 11 minutes gone. That is not what Edgeworth were looking for. Jaffas, though, they'll be happy. I just talked about the fact they wouldn't have wanted to concede the first goal. That is exactly what David Tenchevsky would have done if he could have written a script. Matt Cahill comes in, and what about the ability? You lose Jimmy Oates, who's one of the most electric players in the NPL, and you replace him with a guy like Matt Cahill. There's Matt Cahill would start at least 9 of the 12 NPL clubs if he was there on their books, and I mean, it's normally a role that he plays quite well, that impact sub, and yeah, he's taken with aplomb this week to the starting lineup as Denellen tracks back on this diagonal ball, and he's just going to try and watch this across the byline, and that's where it will go. Wonderful, wonderful immediate impact, though, on his return to the starting lineup for Cahill, and gets himself a 5th goal this season.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it must be difficult playing that bench role where you've got to come on, but to give him credit, he's actually, in the games that he has featured off the bench, provided a huge impact when he's come on, and obviously he was the first man that David Chancheski looked to when Jimmy Oates was out, and so far so good.
He's a natural winger, isn't he? Like, he's a versatile guy who can play in a lot of positions, especially in midfield or even push forward if he has to. But he is just that natural winger, and so yeah, it's an obvious choice. And they're blessed, like a number of these clubs are. Realistically, when you look at the squads of all four of the teams that are left, the depth in those squads just goes to speak to the strength of the NPL. Even in last week, when we saw some of the players, both Lambton and Maitland bringing on off their bench. It's a great position for the competition to be in, Harry.
It is, and we look at both teams' benches, and it's quite youthful. To be honest, we've got the likes of Mason King, Riley Van Haren from an Eagles perspective, and then Blake Carter and Lockie Graham, who have struggled to play first grade this season.
A little nudge there, referee happy to play on. The ball played back in for Griffiths. Yeah, it is. It's great to see. You know, we obviously see some of these ex-A-League veterans and guys coming in from other NPLs like Tyler Harrison. Obviously most recently with Glenorchy, I think it was, in the NPL Tasmania last year. It's great to see our competition, one, is a destination, but two, that we are developing youngsters, and almost like he knew we were going to start talking about youngsters. Jordan Gu on the ball. He is a guy who has really impressed me since his move. I really like watching him at Valentine, but he just looked like he needed something else to unlock him, and the move to Lambton appears to be starting to do that. Matt Cahill sniffing about already, trying to make it a brace. Langlois flicks it wide for Denellen. Denellen with some space and time here around Bolton, decides to lay it back, and Bond, I'm not quite sure whether he was just hitting in hope there or what he was doing, Pat Bond. McNaughton's going to cross it into the box, beats one, doesn't quite find the feet of Archie Finn. Broke his league goal-scoring drought last week. Finn, he'd love to make it 2-2. It's interesting. As much as he is a very traditional striker in terms of when he gets the ball in front of him, because of how he plays that physicality, he's quite often almost the provider of avenues, because he'll quite often set up physically with back to goal and play the ball off to either the wingers coming in or advancing midfielders pushing through. Yeah,
and he's had to buy his time as well. He hasn't been a regular starter for the Jaffas, but certainly these last few weeks, and that goal would have gave him a lot of confidence. Cahill
moving into the box, can't quite find Griffiths. Yeah, I think it would, but I think a lot of people would question when you've got a guy who's spent a good portion of the season at the head of the attack and not having a lot of goals, and that's why I thought it was best to really talk about that. It's a different role, one that suits him well, and it suits the way Lambton play as well. And you know, I think David Chancheski would not be measuring the success of an Archie Finn season by goals. That one comes off the boot there, and Denellen does well to earn the throw. Bolton working hard, getting through plenty of work box to box. They go long. Lowry's heads it back. Harrison will track for it. Just pops it off the outside of the right back to his keeper in Conway.
Yeah, you just touched on Bolton there, but it's really interesting to see Andy Powiak playing more of a right half sort of role. Usually seen through there for the middle. I wonder if that's due to Aaron Pedasano being unavailable for today's match, but it looks to me like Jalen Rodwell and Chris Fays are sort of those holding midfielders for Edgeworth, and Jose Atadi in front.
Ball chipped forward now, looking for Bolton. Defence closes. Beautiful tracking back by Langlois. Now they work forward further. Griffiths on the ball. He's been very busy early on, Lockie Griffiths. Crosses it into the box, looking for Cahill coming to the back post. Cahill, he's got a second. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't textbook, it took a deflection on the way through. But Lambton Jaffas have this one in both hands. They lead 2-0 after 16.5 minutes here at Lake Macquarie. And that man who came into the lineup this week as a replacement for Jimmy Oates, Matt Cahill, has 2.
Yeah, and you spoke about Lockie Griffiths there, Chris. What a ball that was initially down here from the right. He's been through a lot of work early on. And that teasing cross again, not being able to be cleared by the Edgeworth defence. It's that man again, Matty Cahill, who pounces.
It's been a tough finish to the season for the Eagles. I'm certainly not going to be writing them off just yet, Harry. We've still got 70-plus minutes of football, and they've gotten goals in them with guys like Atadi and Goodman up front, even the likes of Powiak as well. Plenty that can score. Rodwell, the man on the ball as well. But they're a long way behind the 8 ball all of a sudden here after less than 20 minutes. Lambton have got the jump on them, and just showing why they're 7 games undefeated.
Exactly, and I think you summed it up at the start of the call, how this Jaffas back into the season run, you could sort of call it a season of two halves, and really coming to their own this back end of the season and build some huge confidence at the right time.
And looking dangerous. They will know, though, at 2-0. It is far from done, as one of our co-commentators, Ben Kanarowski, loves to reel out. It's the most dangerous lead, 2-0, Chris. That's what he tells me. I'm not quite sure about that. I feel like 1-0 literally is the most dangerous lead because you've got less buffer room, but I understand the theory behind that statement, and it's a football truism. It's easy when you get 2-0 up to, you know, a 2-goal margin to relax and think that the job is done, but it is far from that. Lambton will be aware of that. David Tanchevsky will be reminding his troops of that. But it is a good position to be in at this stage.
Yeah, especially so early on in the game as well, but I think I wouldn't count Edgeworth out just yet. They just haven't really been creative in the final third. They've, you know, most of the game's been played down this half, and they'll be hoping that changes soon.
Jackson plays it forward. Bolton brings it down. Fires across. Just can't quite be reeled in by the captain in Pawiak. They just look a little disjointed at the moment, Edgeworth. She said that absence of Aaron Apetesano hasn't been talked about a lot in the lead-up, but he's such a key cog, and it's caused a bit of a reshuffle here, including bringing Bolton into the starting lineup, and I feel that it's just maybe got a couple of players not necessarily playing in their best positions, which is just forcing some, as I said, some disconnect and a bit of a lack of cohesion. But again, with the talent they've got the ability to resurrect it, and plenty of time still to do it. Just over 70 minutes to go here in the minor semi-final at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility. Here's Griffiths again on a good, strong run. He's got space. Into the box. Goo over the bar. Another chance to extend the lead even further, and you would have felt 2-0. Well, that's turnaroundable. 3-0. Starting to get very challenging. The concern for me is this Edgeworth team's been renowned for their defence all season. They are getting picked apart by the Jaffas at the moment.
They are, and that move earlier started with Riley McNaughton's diagonal ball across to Lockie Griffiths, and some of his crosses early on have been very dangerous.
It's interesting, the first goal and then that last opportunity both came. If you have a look, the wingers are pushing up really high and hard at different points for Edgeworth, and maybe not as disciplined in tracking back as they have been previously, and the same in the midfield. And to be fair, the man that normally controls that tempo is that man you talked about before, Andy Pawiak. And with him playing on the edge, I just wonder if that communication isn't necessarily there, Harry, because you know you would know this better than any at the level you're playing. It's so key, that communication. If there's someone who leads that role all the time and they move to a different position, someone needs to step up with that, and that might be what the Eagles need at the moment. Yeah,
exactly. And Andy Pawiak's a player who leads with his actions. I've been watching him over the past few weeks, and he's a very loud captain, and having him out on the right here early on, just interesting to see how he progresses.
Here he is now, winds up from range, takes a deflection off the back of the shoulder of Langlois, and is this the tonic that Edgeworth need? A set piece, a corner. Jackson Brady to take it. The sun beams down. And plenty of height. Wowries and Harrison will be the likely targets, you'd think, in there. Beats one, can't beat the second. Harrison gets a little nod on it, but will have a goal kick, and why wouldn't you be looking for one of those two targets when they tower over the pack there, Harry?
Yeah, they're two bodies that you've got to make sure you pick up on set pieces, and I'm sure those two, just looking at them now, their height advantage on most other teams.
McNaughton, again, we touched on it before. I still can't. It's a phenomenal achievement. 200 games. Finn with a nice little touch back inside. A little too heavy in the end, though. And Conway will come out and take it away. And it's always interesting to see how the goalkeepers approach these pieces now. And we saw it last week, Harry. The 8 seconds they've got to utilise the ball.
Yeah, it was something we weren't expecting last week with that 8-second rule.
Yeah, I think my understanding is, though, I think we might have seen an indirect free kick last week. I thought, and I could be wrong on this, I'd love clarification. Might have a chat with some of our wonderful referees. They're always giving of their time. My understanding was it's a corner, not an indirect free kick, but we might confirm that, Harry, because it'd be good to know. Probably good if we know the rules of what we're talking about. more key for you. You're playing tomorrow. Not that you're goalkeeping. How far down the pecking order would you have to be to end up getting thrown in goals? How many guys are dropping before you're given the gloves, mate?
Fair few, that's for sure.
You'd be protesting heavily. A man who has worn the gloves a lot across a lot of seasons, Ben Kennedy, throws that one out.
Go on, big man, go on!
Denellen just overturns himself. Jackson with the throw. Looking for an open option. Goodman's presenting forward and he lofts it over him though. Robbo tries to knot it on. Denellen takes long, Finn turns. Fayer's tracking back. Harrison sends it to his keeper. And they play out. Misdirected though. Finn intercepts it. Go in the box. Can Finn create gap to goal? Working hard. Just plays it into the legs and we throw in. Not quite the answer he was looking for, Archie Finn, but nonetheless they maintain possession for now, the Jaffas.
Yeah, and the Jaffas have shown on a couple of occasions earlier that they can go from defence to attack so quickly, especially down this right-hand side, which they've loved using, the combination of Denellen and Griffiths, and Archie Finn doing well to earn his team a throw.
Denellen lofts it into the box, headed back. Langlois takes a hack at it, doesn't get any real contact. They're pressing hard here, trying to force Edgeworth to make a mistake in their own half. McNaughton all the way back to Kennedy. Goodman will chase, but Kennedy will just lure him in and then play it away. Topple Stanley out to his centre-back partner. And they go back again. They're just happy to try and force some movements out of this Edgeworth press. Topple Stanley gets free, lofts it diagonally, looking for Denellen. Jackson wins out, but gives it straight to Denellen. He feeds it in. There's no one there tracking through the middle, though. But a little misstep there. Brady got away with it in the end. Cahill was closing fast. And Tatey, another little touch on. They just seem rushed at the moment, Edgeworth. Finn, and using his strength. Tell you what, Archie Finn might have been giving as good as he got there, but he's certainly got a free kick in a dangerous area for his team. Only a few metres outside the 18-yard box. Who will be the man to take this? Is it going to be Langlois? Rather McNaughton stepping up in game 200. He's taken some set pieces recently. Tommy Waller just going to try and add to the misdirection and confusion. I was going to say, I thought Sam Denellen was going in there as well. I think four might be overkill.
4 might be enough, yeah.
Just have everyone in, orchestrated movements. And it's going to be Waller and Langlois. Waller looks the likely to try and curl it around and look at that top left postage stamp. Langlois, an option the other way. No, Waller it is, tries to curl it in. Conway reads it like a book. It's been quite a tempo it's been played at so far, Harry.
Yeah, it's been quite a fast start. Just looking at Pat Bond, it looks like he's just had to switch a boot there. But yeah, like you mentioned, a very fast start, and the Eagles will be looking to work their way back into this one.
It's surely got to be very off-putting having two different boots. Kennedy is happy to take his time. Drives long. That's a big clearing kick from Kennedy. Brought to ground. Howitt gives it off to Fayers. It's picked off by Goo. Griffiths takes a strike. Doesn't really challenge Conway. He falls down and takes it. Gets things moving quickly. Jaffas just trying to close things down. Fayers does well. Fortunate bounce there, but eventually it comes the way of Denellen. McNaughton will push forward in game 200. Goodman working in tight quarters with him. Can't get it. Top of Stanley. Waller tracking back. It's down the line, looking for the pace of Cahill on the outside. He's identified a mismatch there. Goo's there. Cahill thought he might have had a hat-trick. That might have been, on hindsight, it might have been better to lay that back for Jordan Goo.
Yeah, I think Goo was presenting himself there at around the penalty spot, and Matt Cahill being a bit selfish there, Chris, trying to go for that third, but he certainly caused Jackson Brady some problems down that right-hand side.
The corner now, Denellen to take it. Archie Finn doing what Archie Finn does best, making a nuisance of himself with the keeper. Ball's dangerously headed away. It's just going to roll away over the sideline for a throw. Jaffas continue to mount the pressure. Everyone else stands around while Denellen gets a run from sideline to sideline. McNaughton will track back. Goo will push forward. Denellen's going to take the wind up for the long throw into the box here. Finds the back of Pat Bond's head. I don't think that's how that was drawn up as a play.
No, I don't think that's what Pat Bond mentioned, and I think he was having a little laugh there, but certainly love to have that one all over again.
Yeah, I'm sure they would, but anyway, it's much easier to see the humorous side of it when you're leading 2-0 rather than chasing the game. Just shy of half an hour gone here. Lambton with the upper hand, but so many twists to come. McNaughton wins the header. Bond out in front now for Brady. Big touch, crosses it into the box. Topple Stanley there. Atati thought about a shot, driven from range, over the crossbar, tapped away. Just a fingertip from Kennedy. That had to be close. Kennedy did well just to get a touch on it. And he's not sure what the conversation is there. Kennedy and Topple Stanley both having a bit of a running conversation with the referee. And the Jaffas, meanwhile, will now have to turn the defensive switch. Edgeworth with the corner, lofted in, looking for Harrison, falls back, chipped in again. Topple Stanley clears it off the line. Bayer's coming in, as is Rodwell. Harrison there again. Bond gets the header. Tom Waller. Oh, he's trying to try some karate moves there. Thought better of raising the boot, though, which was probably a wise option. Brady can't control it and loses possession. And Lambton see away the threat for the time being. Topple Stanley and Goodman. Topple Stanley just shrugs him off. And it comes across to Kennedy, who'll drive it long towards halfway.
Yeah, the Jaffas will be happy to see that situation go away. The Eagles showing some sign of intent. And it looked like they got their foot on the ball a bit more, Edgeworth, in these last couple of minutes.
They're an experienced side. They'll very much know that this is far from over. They need to get some momentum back at a minimum before half-time. Jordan Goo came in there flying at a rate of knots. Wasn't going to die wondering. Griffith pushing forward, and Wowries comes across and just covers it across the line. Denellen goes long with the throw. A bit of incidental contact there. I don't think there was much in that from Archie Finn. He's certainly been more intentional about some collisions before in the season.
Yeah, we've certainly seen worse, haven't we?
We have. Yeah, free kick, probably the right decision. Not a lot in it. Wowries will take it back to Conway. Deflection goes forward to Goodman, and McNaughton just covers it off across the line. And Griffiths again. Bolton ends up with it. Ball push forward. Bond comes away. Sliding challenge, takes it for Edgeworth. Palwiak pushes it wide. Brady down the line on the right flank. Crosses it into the box. Bolton's there. Nods it across the face. Uncontested. Lambton dodge a bullet there. That looked ominous as it was floating in.
It did look goal bound, and signs of intent there from the Eagles with Flynn Goodman and Bolton quietly going in there at the back stick.
I think Ben Kennedy was almost resigned to the fact that that had gone into the net and was more surprised than anyone that it missed. Very disappointed with his defensive unit there, Kennedy. Positive signs out for the Eagles. Now Goodman. Fayers takes a strike. Topple Stanley blocks it off, and now here goes the man on a potential hat-trick, Cahill. Working some magic goo wide. He's got Cahill back in the pocket with him. Is that where he'll lay? No, he takes a strike himself over the crossbar again. This one much closer from Goo. Backed himself there, did the young gun. Not far away at all.
Certainly wasn't, and another example there of how quick the Jaffas transition. Straight from defence into attack. And Jordan Goo just blazing over there.
Now Edgeworth will try and turn it the other way and take it on. Goodman does well in tight quarters. Lowry's pushing forward. All turned over. Finn with a little tap on, a little heavy. Cahill has to work hard to maintain possession. Back to Waller. Lays it in to Topple Stanley. NTS working now. Santanellan calling for it. Doesn't get the ball on delivery when asked. And Cahill. Topple Stanley again. Flicked on. A little heavy for the intended target of Griffiths, and Bolton will just track back and be watchful as it goes across the byline.
Yeah, I think Lockie Griffiths wanted that more short at the feet rather than over the top. You can see what Archie Finn was trying to do.
And Lowry decides to take on the space. It's offered to him, slices between two. Finn outmuscles him though. Langlois, can he get the ball for Griffiths? Will he get a strike away? He does. Well saved. Conway, outstretched left boot, pushes it across the byline. It'll be a corner. He did well there, made himself big, the keeper. Shut down the angles and prevented a third goal for the Jaffas.
Exactly, and such a crucial save there from Conway at this stage of the game. Keeping the deficit to only 2.
Seeing what Dunellen can deliver from the corner. Dunellen crosses in, headed away at the front by Rodwell. Doesn't really clear it in the direction he wanted, but the clean-up from Bolton works for now. And they're going shoulder to shoulder here. Langlois takes it away. Cahill gets a touch but doesn't control it, and now Edgeworth racing forwards. I was going to say challenge after the fact. That'll be a free kick against Topple Stanley. Referee just wants it back and the ball stationary. I'm still not sure it was, but anyway, we'll move on. Push forward now, Rodwell. Bolton pushing down the left. And Powiak does well. Nice touch. Cahill closes him down though. And Brady looking for it, racing forward, but won't get it, and it'll be a throw in deep in defensive territory for Tom Waller. Goes very long with the throw, headed on by Finn. Griffiths plays it in. Goo now. He can get the touch here. Runs away from his supporter, finds him again. Dunellen racing down on the right. Takes a strike across the face. Wasn't far away. Lockie Griffiths looking to add his name to the score sheet on his less preferred side. He found himself on the left and took a strike, but pushed it across the face.
Quick counter-attack there from the Jaffas, wasn't it, Chris? And Lockie Griffiths, who we are known to see on this right, found himself on the left and close on that occasion.
And Finn just, again, a little heavy with the touch. Can't quite get the weighting right. They're getting picked apart here, a little Edgeworth. It's going to be concerning if you're Peter McGuinness. We head towards half-time. Just around 8 minutes of regulation time remaining. These two sides striving and fighting for a position in next weekend's preliminary final. 2 wins from a grand final berth. Norton just does well there. Just prods it through the legs of Bolton, but doesn't get... He did get a small touch off Bolton. There we go. Nice result. Denellen will take the throw. Looking for Finn. Jackson wins out. Rodwell heads it forward. Langlois looking for Cahill. Couldn't find him. Bond's there. Takes it away from Goodman. Denellen and Kennedy. Warries takes it. Harrison. Cahill gets in there. Langlois fighting with Rodwell for it. They're certainly far from resigned to any sort of fate, Edgeworth. They continue to push on. They know if they could get a goal before half-time, it's really going to set a cat amongst the pigeons, and the momentum could be a very interesting story going into the half.
Yeah, and be a massive confidence boost if they can grab one, and a much-needed goal on the cards for the Eagles.
Rodwell drives long on the diagonal. Just a little too heavy, though. So it'll be a throw for Lambton. Wallen will take the throw. Tatey now pushing forward, a little bit of space, gets it out in front of Goodman, but Waller's there, closes down the angle and cuts off the ball. Edgeworth just trying to find an open man here. They find a Tatey with the throw. And another throw, and again, it'll be Jackson Brady to take it. Double Stanley comes cluttering through, heads it forward. Cahill has an air swing. And drop back to Pawiak. He decides to switch the point of the attack and plays it to Warries. Rodwell thinks about winding up and feeding the ball right. Decides to come back to the left to Fayers. Fayers to Jackson. Jackson and Bolton. Bolton burns to the outside. Denellen chasing. Bolton does well to keep the ball in, and Denellen just shepherds it for McNaughton to come across.
It's been at the heart of everything, McNaughton, in his milestone match, and everything that's come down this left-hand side for Edgeworth seems to be cleared by McNaughton.
He's certainly been effective and busy. Now a crucial turnover. Cahill. Finn's with him. Can he find an avenue for his partner? He can. And Finn take a strike from range. He does. That's not going to have enough power on it, though, to threaten the goals of Conway. As the sun fully blazes down. We'd had it behind some clouds for a little bit there. Add some more literal heat to the situation. Jackson pulls up. Thinks about laying it down for Bolton. Decides better of it. Back to Fayers. He hasn't had a lot to do, Chris Fayers. Not a name we've called much today, Harry.
No, him and Jose Tatey have been a little bit quiet there in the middle for the Eagles.
So they have another pass picked off. Bond plays it forward. Finn. A little bit of push and shove here. Referee letting it go. Rodwell got Bond. Bond decided to come back and get Rodwell, and maybe it's all square now, I'm not sure. McNaughton plays it wide for Denellen. It's going to be a little too heavy, I was going to say, but Griffiths tracks back to take it. Kennedy. So Stanley now plays it out. Langlois back there. Now it goes back to the 200 gamer. Edgeworth's press just really closing the avenues. Lambton, you feel they'd be happy to go to the break with a 2-goal lead. They probably could have had more by this point. Edgeworth could argue, though, that they could have had at least one of their own. Just feels that they're settling into a bit of a comfortable rhythm, these two sides, like they're just ready to go to half-time, which for mine is probably a little concerning if you're an Eagles fan. Finn's going to take a shot from range, just a little over the top. Not the worst idea. Saw the keeper was out off his line and thought, I'll take a pot shot here.
Yeah, not a bad idea there from the Archie Finn, but I think Matty Cahill might have tried that one earlier in the game as well. It's always a promise when the keeper plays a high line.
Howiak now working forward. Oh, Tom Stanley looked like he'd been sniped then. Just wanted to have a sit down for a little bit. The experienced centre back. Langlois. Danella now with time and space. Happy to use McNaughton. Looking down towards half-time. Will we see some late twist here at Spears Point in this first half of the minor semi-final, the men's Northern New South Wales NPL live and free on the Northern New South Wales Football YouTube channel. Plenty more football still to come over the coming weeks. We've got the preliminary finals, the finals. We've still got more men's and women's semi-finals this weekend. The promotion relegation playoff next weekend. The ball comes across over the sideline. Lambton will be happy to take their time here. Danella with the throw. And of course, Harry, then we go into the Regional Super League in October as well. The finals of that will be held up at Scully Park in Tamworth. Football season start of February to early October. You get best part of 9 months in a season. How good's that?
Certainly is, and in this exciting prospect having the Super League coming up.
And to see the best of the rest of Northern New South Wales outside of NPL and Northern League competitions that are so centred here in the Newcastle and Hunter part of Northern New South Wales. Some wonderful teams from areas like Port Macquarie, Coffs Harbour, Armidale, Inverell. Further up the coast as well. Such a broad region of footballing talent, Northern New South Wales now. Jackson comes through, Langlois boot a little high. Joey trying to suggest that he can't actually get his boot that high. I don't think the referee's buying that, Joey Langlois. Just waiting to see what the fourth official might have for us. Tick down to the last few seconds of normal time, and then it'll just be added time before we go to the break. I didn't think I'd be saying this week, Harry, but I might be looking for some shade at half-time. It is warm in this sun.
It's certainly not...
Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute of added time.
Certainly not something that most people would have said at the start of this week.
No, but it feels like we've gone full circle back to those very balmy days in February when the season kicked off. And we're doing the Charity Shield on the 7th of February. That's how long we've been going this season. It's been a wonderful year in Northern New South Wales football. It's Goodman. He's enveloped by a pack of yellow, and Tatey tries to get away. Body's going in left, right and centre. Griffiths trying to track back, but Bolton crosses it. Waller heads it forward. Cahill's going to race across. Brady. Howiak. Could Edgeworth just snatch one back here in the shadows of half-time. Now Rodwell playing forward. Tatey puts it out. Howiak crosses in. Almost there for Bolton at the back post, but Danellen cleans up. Well done, Sammy Danellen, tracking back, just picked that away. It looked like Bolton might have been able to pounce. Yeah,
and to be fair, that's probably one of Edgy's most promising chances, Chris, and it's come late in the half, but certainly some signs of danger there.
Give you some hope, I guess, if you're an Eagle. McNaughton again rises above the pack. Bond nods it on. Archie Finn, I'm not quite sure what that was that he was trying, but the Jaffas, they're here to play. They head into the sheds leading 2-0 in the minor semi-final. Once again, we're seeing just how dangerous this side is when they find their...
Oh yeah, that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. With local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good. That's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. getting somewhere. That's what it feels like when you bank with Newcastle Permanent. With local experts and award-winning customer service. We're here for you, and we're here for good. yeah, that's the feeling. Progress. Momentum. Getting somewhere.
Impact off the bench if they go to him. And then the likes of Wowries, who's so dangerous at the set piece, he has 3 as well. So be curious to see what else can come. Where are they going to find those goals? That is the question for Peter McGuinness. However, if you're David Tenchevsky, the Lambton Jaffas manager, what would have that conversation looked like? I feel it would have been a far more optimistic conversation.
Yeah, exactly. I think you could probably agree with this one and those that are watching, but I think the Jaffas just need to take their chances more. I think it's fair to say they could be ahead by more than 2 at half-time. And thanks to that man in front of us, they do lead 2-0, but I feel like they've had opportunities to further extend their lead, and Edgeworth have had signs of intent as well, but I think the Jaffas deserve to be ahead more than 2 goals.
And there's certainly been some chances for them. You could argue they could be 3 or 4. As you said, the man just in front of us here. 2 goals to his name, Matt Cahill. Can he make it a hat-trick in his return to the starting lineup? Only time will tell who can snatch the momentum to start this second half of the minor semi-final. It's win or go home for both these sides. Lambton the upper hand heading into the second stanza, and they straight away push forward with some aggression. Jackson plays it off. Goo gets a touch. Working through. Bond takes a slice off the outside, and this time hits the crossbar. He did it last week and it snuck underneath off the deflection. This time finds the middle of the crossbar. But that's, if nothing else, Harry, that's a warning shot from Lambton. They're not done here. They're happy to try and push on and extend this lead.
They certainly are, and already with about 10 to 20 seconds into the half, Pat Bond, we mentioned it last week on the call, so have other multiple people, that he only scores worldies. So close on that occasion, but you summed it up perfectly. Signs of intent early.
I'll tell you what, he's so casual about it too, but he wasn't far away as Cahill plays it forward. Finn takes a strike, deflected by Harrison. They're pushing hard here, but Bolton takes it away. Now Powiat. Lambton have the throw. Plenty of talk, plenty of conversation around the directions now as to how they close things down, the Eagles. Powiat gets ahead to it. Lobbed forward by Langlois. Goo does well to get up to it despite giving away plenty of height. Griffiths with a header that doesn't really go anywhere. Goo gets up again, the youngster. Now Cahill. What can he come up with here? Waller trying to present. Cahill cuts in, crosses it into the box. Goo with a strike. Parried away. Langlois pushes it over the bar. You felt he just had to tap it home and it would have been a third, but he blazes heavy over the crossbar. And the score remains 2-0 early in this second half.
Well, these are opportunities that Jaffas might regret come the end of the 90 minutes. Already 2 clear-cut chances to extend their lead. And Joey Langlois unavailable to convert on that occasion.
Rush of blood, I think, Harry. Saw the open goal and wanted to almost fire it through the back netting. Edgeworth. And we need to make the most of every blessing they get here. A few missed chances already early in this second half, just 2.5 minutes gone. Now Dunellen chips forward off the head. Goodman's been very busy for Edgeworth. Cahill just a little too much of a nudge there. Lowry's might have had a little sauce, but at the end of the day, that's part of the theatre of football, Harry. Lowry's now back to the keeper. Conway comes out of his 18-yard box. Looking for the ball. Brady couldn't quite get it, but Waller gets the contact on it, so it will be a throw in. Rodwell and Brady. Goo tracks down, plays the ball down the line. Nice ball, Harrison. Lowry's now looking for avenues. Brady calls for it. Waller sniffs through, takes it away. Cahill's there. A little heavy with his first touch. Rodwell, Powiat. Threads a nice ball for Tatey. Fayers drifts it wide. Last little touch coming off the boot of Archie Finn, however. So it will be a throw. Edgeworth just trying to find some ways to create some ball movement and open up avenues. Conway comes wide to Brady. Brady lofts it over, looking for Goodman. Norton takes it away, does well to win out. He's been in absolutely everything today. Open opportunity here for Griffiths around the keeper. Conway gets some hands to it. Griffiths is back. Can he beat the keeper? Conway gets there again. Griffiths takes another shot, but it's broken up, and the defenders have tracked back to cover the goals. They get away with it. That was some real last line defending there, Harry, from the Eagles. Opportunity here again. Cahill in the box, and again they're called upon their defenders. Griffiths prods it forward. Cahill. Bond now. Harrison goes to take it away, but Bond slides in and pushes it across the byline.
We've done well again there, the Eagles, to see out that threat. And like you mentioned, Ben Conway initially coming out to stop Lockie Griffiths found himself on the edge of the box, and the Jaffas just couldn't convert.
A few sniffs here for the Jaffas just to try and put another nail in the coffin and further increase their chances of heading to next week's big clash in the preliminary final. Cahill wins out with a leap there. Brady, Waller, headed forward. Finn trying to play it on for Goo, just a little misdirected. McNaughton's there again, heads it forward over halfway. Langlois throwing himself around. So there's Griffiths there throwing himself around. Now Wowries overcooks that one, and it races away between the two benches. Feels like the ball's barely been over halfway for the Eagles in this second half.
Yeah, it's not the reaction that I would have expected.
As soon as I say that, Robbo gets there.
It's not the second half reaction we would have expected from Pete McGuinness' side.
Oh, look, a little flat coming out. Powiak. Brady's been busy and vocal, that is for certain. Does well there, just plays into the legs of Waller to earn a throw for his team. That man we just spoke about, Harry Brady, to take the corner. Wowries and Harrison the likely targets. Goodman in tight as well. Get up, Tobble Stanley soars above the pack. Powiak thinks about winding up, couldn't get a clean swing. Good does well to bring it down. Atadi. Waller and Bond. Bodies go together, and we're going to have a foul there after Bond was dragged to ground. Straight away though, Harry, they go on this counter attack. They're playing up tempo are the Jaffas. Edgeworth do well to take it away. Powiak wide with some space. Accelerates, Bond closing. Powiak takes a strike. Ben Kennedy just watches that very confidently. I think he's a little more confident at missing than you were, Harry. You looked a little nervous.
Looked like it was gliding close towards that top left corner. We've seen Andy Powiak, if he has no options, just take on that initial strike down this right-hand flank. And like you mentioned, I think Ben Kennedy was more confident than I was.
That's why he gets the big bucks, Harry. We talked about it before, goalkeeping, probably not your superpower. Think of the outfield stuff and the commentary, mate. You're doing well with both of those. Kennedy goes long, headed forward. All of a sudden it's gotten very dark here with some clouds coming over. Matt Cahill gives Brady a little hug there, and Conway wasn't happy about it. Play goes on, however. Topple Stanley pushing up high. As well, is he going to take a strike, Topple Stanley? But, he laid it off for Archie Finn. I think Archie Finn thought he was going to be the foil for the veteran. And then Topple Stanley gives away a foul. And straight away, Wowries identifies that the man's out of the defensive line. But as you'll know, Joey Langlois, Joey Langlois has seamlessly slotted in there for Topple Stanley. And now that Topple Stanley returns home, Langlois will pop back out of the line. That's good defensive discipline from the men in gold.
Yeah, good knowledge there from Langlois to notice Topple Stanley push it on forward.
Rodwell. There's a few drops of rain just come down here at Lake Macquarie. Brady pushed away. Norton and Topple Stanley combined. Ball goes wide. Chipped forward by Denellen. Actually, Finn decides not to chase that. Brady. Powiak. No options, goes back to Brady. Waller gets a little touch on, but probably assists the cause of Powiak. First touch cross. And Denellen clears it away. That was a nice cross from Andy Powiak on the first touch.
It wasn't. I feel like this game, Edgeworth have had their sniffs to, I guess, 5-minute periods where they do look promising, and they just need to keep this up for the rest of this second half if they want to find a way back into it. And I agree with you, Chris. That ball from Andy Powiak had Ben Kennedy a little worried.
Wait and see what they can come with. Conway a long way from home. Ball push forward, appealing for the flag to go up. It's Tom Waller, but Goodman, the judge, is still onside. Tatey worked it, but turned it over now. Archie Finn. I'm not quite sure what you call that tackling technique, but the referee was okay with it. Goes across the line. Plenty happening here at Lake Macquarie Regional Football Facility today. As we said, after this game from 4 p.m, we'll have the women's qualifying final. A ticket to the grand final on offer, Harry. Minor premiers. Charlestown Azuri take on Maitland. I think they've played 5 times this year, including the State Cup and League Cup finals. Charlestown 1 win. Charlestown 3 wins. Maitland 1 win and 1 game. The State Cup final abandoned due to that terrible injury to the Charlestown captain. But each of the games that Charlestown has won have been by 1 goal.
Yeah,
that was the case last week when they secured the minor premiership.
Sort of speaks for itself, doesn't it? How competitive those two have been.
Certainly does. It's a rivalry. Looking forward to it as Goodman gets into the box here. What can he create? Plays it back, pushed away. Bolton couldn't get the control he needed. Waller goes long. Archie Finn, I tell you what, that looked like it hurt. A lot of effort up in the big man getting off the ground and getting that leg up like that. Now, Harrison drives it wide. Bolton's there, brings it down, returns it well. He decides to drive forward. Goodman takes it from him. Nice little touch on for Jackson. Jackson crossed it into the box, but of course who's there but Riley McNaughton. Crossed into the box again. Kennedy, little fumble. Everyone just watching. No one pushing forward from Edgeworth. I'm sure Pete McGuinness would have loved a second wave there just to put a bit more pressure on Kennedy, but that's an uncharacteristic error. And the Jaffas, no blemish from it.
Certainly unlike the experienced shot stopper.
Powiak winds up, takes a strike, top of Stanley off his hip. Brady is going to try and track it in, but we're going to have a corner. Looks like we might have a change for Lambton after the set piece. Jackson Brady really in a hurry to take this, which is interesting. Just 13 minutes gone in the second half. Still 2-0. Brady barking instructions. Ever the vocal backman. Drives it in low and flat. Headed on by Goodman. Misdirected though. Too broad an angle. Let's see what this change is. Looks like Lockie Griffiths making way, is it? No. It's going to be Archie Finn for Taylor. Riley Taylor, the former Northern League 1 Player of the Year back in 2022. Been a great impact at Lambton since he's joined the club. Coming off the bench for Finn. Looking at here. Going to a five-man backline by the look of it.
It looks like Matty Cahill slot into the 9. And Riley Taylor out here on the left.
Oh, yeah, that is correct. I was looking at things upside down, Harry. Don't mind me. As you were. So Matty Cahill will go to the point of the attack and see if he can find a third from there. I was going to say, it's very un-Tanchevsky-like to have tried to set a bigger back line. I wouldn't have thought they'd be quite doing that this early in the piece. But Finn, maybe he undid himself with that leap just in front of us before. It looked like it hurt. I said it at the time.
It did.
As a fellow man of over 6 foot and larger frame, I understand the effort that it takes to get the bigger frames off the ground like that.
To be fair, I think Archie Finn, when he does start, he usually does only play around the 60-minute mark. But he had that challenge, well, not the challenge, that leap, you could say, yeah, in front of us here.
Yeah, with absolutely no disrespect to Archie Finn, I don't think acrobatics are certainly something that Jaffas fans would come to expect from him. Physical prowess, strength, determination, they're all words that you associate very strongly with Archie Finn. Yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting him to leave the Jaffas and join the circus anytime soon, that's for sure. As Finn Bolton gets a nice cross away that Kennedy reads it well, floats back with the flight, takes it. Looks like an AFL full forward tracking back there, Ben Kennedy, and just taking it from behind the backman. That was much more composed from the Jaffas shot stopper. Drives this long and flat. Wowries heads it back. Fayers brings it down. Jackson into the legs of Griffiths, and it'll be a throw in for the Eagles. Interesting to see at what point the Eagles look to inject some spark of their own. It's very interesting when you have a look over the other side there, Harry, and you've got the two benches are standing around in what appears to be a group huddle. I'm not quite sure what's happening there. They're all warming up together, having a bit of a conversation. It's not very friendly until they get inside the white rectangle that's in front of us, I suppose. Opportunity here, Goodman. McNaughton comes flying across and plays it into the legs of Goodman, and it goes out. Edgeworth trying to appeal for a corner. Yeah, you don't often see that, Harry. Two teams just sort of having a little convivial while they wait for their moment in the sun, if you will.
Yeah, I think majority of them are youngsters, so maybe could be a connection there, but you're right, they certainly look to be mingling and chatting with each other. But that all goes out the window when they do enter the frame, or if they do enter the frame here.
Kennedy happy to take his time now. Lambton, well aware they've got one hand on a ticket to the preliminary final with his 2-goal lead and under 30 minutes of regulation time remaining. Brady. Howiak. That does well. That's better ball movement from the Eagles. Wowries out for Jackson. Lofts it forward. Not quite sure who was targeted there, but Top or Stanley gets the header to it. Bolton's been solid for them, but can't control that one, and it'll be a throw-in. Denellen winds up, takes a long throw. Wowries gets his head in front. Prodded forward by Griffiths. For Griffiths, I should say. As the sun pokes out from behind the clouds again. This one comes forward almost to the favour of Cahill, but Jackson tracks back and takes it. Griffith spirals himself in there. Pirouettes, and the ball comes off his back heel for a throw-in for the Eagles. Norton's there. Flying with Bolton, takes it away. Goodman comes through, cleans it up. He's having a tussle with Langlois. All forward now. Goodman gets the outside of Denellen. Deflection parried away by Taylor. That was a careless challenge by Griffiths. Probably lucky he didn't connect with Fayers. This one floats back. Kennedy. I'm not quite sure. Is he getting ready to dive off the swimming blocks there, Harry? That's what it looked like. Superman, something. So, speaking of, people that you're not expecting to take giant leaps, with Archie Finn, Ben Kennedy, tell you what, unless he's springing out to protect his goal, it'd probably be similar. And I asked the question of when the Eagles would go to their bench, and the answer is right now, Harry. Chris Fayers is going to make way for Mason King. And Finn Bolton also coming from the field. Looks like there's going to be 3 changes. Jose Atadi as well. Jose Atadi making way for Nick Curran. Have we got a 3rd change coming? I'm sure I saw Finn Bolton head off, and they've come up with another number there, but Joe Melmoth will come on. And he's the person I did say when we came out for that second half. I think he could be the man who could unlock some spark here at the attacking end for the Eagles.
Yeah, he's one of the more experienced players when we look at that Edgeworth bench, and someone that Pete McGuinness knows he can rely on, and it's a huge chance for him to stake his claim here.
Certainly is. Melmoth, the impact. Nick Curran coming in, speaking of impact, gets the ball free, and here he goes, Melmoth. And the two substitutes immediately combined to create a half chance. Nick Curran came clattering through the pack, took the possession away, and just sliced it out in front of Melmoth. Just a touch too heavy, but that's a positive sign for Edgeworth.
It isn't something that the Eagles will look to utilise more, those two substitutes, and that man that you spoke about, Joe Melmoth. Just trying to make that run in behind, off the shoulder of the defender. Got in behind Nikolai Topper-Steele on that occasion, but that pass just too overhit.
I'll tell you what, I think it was early this year in round 6 where he was key for them. Joe Melmoth got a double in the second half against a side that's actually playing on the field behind us now, Valentine, in the promotion relegation playoffs. If he could conjure that here today, wouldn't there be some scenes as Goodman gets into the box, fighting under pressure. Again, just couldn't get enough power, and that Kennedy falls forward onto it. Kennedy drives long. Ball falls in between Cahill and Jackson. Comes off Jackson last, and it'll be a Jaffas throw in now. 40 from goal. Denellen, Langlois down the line. Griffiths trying to pirouette between multiple Eagles. Curran takes the ball away. Sam Denellen just shepherds that across the line using his body.
Yeah, he's another player, Sam Denellen, that we don't often speak about, but the way he shifted into that right back role this season, especially considering that's not his natural position, he's filled the hole of Matt Buettner really well.
Certainly has. Bond now. Goo thinks about winding up and taking a strike. Griffiths is trying to make an advancing run. Can't find a line to him. Now they track back. Langlois was very busy in the first half. Hasn't had as much to do this half. A bit of a sloppy turnover there as, again, McNaughton steps up. Cometh the moment. Cometh the man that is Riley McNaughton in his 200th game. Lofted forward now. Opportunity. Taylor's at the back stick. Takes a strike. He really got underneath that a little more than he wanted. Right idea. Execution not quite on the money.
On his weaker foot as well, I think, from Riley Taylor, but certainly looking to add that third that the Jaffas have, they've had that opportunity so much in this game, then it just must be worrying for David Chancheski, knowing that if Edgeworth can get one back soon, we've got a game on our hands.
Still plenty of time to go. We're right at the midpoint of this second half. So plenty of time for the narrative to change here. Jordan Goo, nice work in traffic there. Plays out in front, trying to free Matt Cahill. He may have found himself half a step offside, I'm not certain. Joe Melmoth, nice ball out in front for Jackson. Denellen's going to have to try and close him down here. What can Jackson find? Chips it in. Melmoth tries to get a header off the back of his head, and again, Riley McNaughton comes to the fore. Pushing all the numbers forward. They're just holding just Powiak. And King, is it out? Looks like. And Jackson will float out the back as well. Nick Curran could be dangerous here. Unmarked at the edge of the 18-yard box if he could float in. The ball comes down, but Robwell can't quite get hold of it. That might be something Lambton might need to pay attention to. I'll tell you what, the second chance shot there for a Curran sitting off the back would have been quite dangerous.
And we saw it last week, didn't we, Chris? With Tommy Waller.
He certainly did. That was a no higher than knee high slicing opportunity for Tom Waller from range last week outside the 18-yard box to get the first for the Jaffas and make things level.
Can always be a threat, like you mentioned, just sitting on the edge of the box, waiting for that corner to be cleared.
Yes.
Certainly spot on there.
A chance here for Lambton, but it was well dealt with in the end by Harrison. Conway drives that into the legs of the advancing Taylor. Nothing happening elsewhere on the other field here. It sounds like Valentine might have taken the lead in the second leg of the semi-final. This is chip forward. Crucial. Winner will go through the promotion relegation playoff. Valentine fighting Harry to avoid relegation. Singleton chasing promotion the first time to the NPL.
Yeah, sounded like some huge scenes on the field behind us. And
there's a little bit of frustration on this field, though. Ben Conway trying to argue that it should be a goal kick. Assistant referee explaining why it's not. Will be a corner here for Lambton. I feel if they scored here, it might just be a bridge too far, despite the fact we've still got almost 20 minutes remaining. Second ball on the field here. This could be a little bit of confusion. Jackson. Shot taken from Langlois. And we'll have a goal kick. Second ball didn't impact, which is positive. That could have been really controversial. And now Conway with a goal kick. Edgeworth will be very cognizant of the factor of the clock here as it ticks down further and further. The likelihood of straight sets elimination looking more and more likely for the Eagles. It's been a weird and winding road for them. They had such a phenomenal start of the season. We said Ryan Fuchs then departed the club to head to the New South Wales NPL. A few other key factors occurred. A couple of losses to the likes of Western and Broadmeadow. Then last week's game was hailed out, Harry, which was an unusual one. Had a hailstorm at the end of the reserve grade major semi-final. Sorry, qualifying semi-final. As Conway just tracks back and takes this one on the bounce, and then it wasn't playable after that, the fixture, so they had to come back Monday night. So maybe a slightly shorter turnaround, but only by a day.
I was going to say, I think that's something as well for Edgeworth. They haven't actually played at Jack McLaughlin for about 2 to 3 games, if I'm right. They built such a strong home fortress there at the start of the season, and
Taylor, sorry mate, we'll come back to that. Taylor working around with Powiak. He'll go back to Conway. Returns the favour to Powiak.
I just feel
a goal kick.
Not them having not played there in a couple of weeks where they started the season, like you mentioned, oh so well. We obviously saw, like you mentioned, the hailstorm last Saturday. They did actually schedule it for Jack McLaughlin for Monday night, but that didn't obviously go ahead due to the pitch. And they don't have a terrible record out here at Spears Point, but certainly missing that home fortress, it seems.
Yeah, I think it's a challenging piece. Normally an advantage you'd have in semi-finals, but with everything that's gone on this year, I think every team's had to adapt to a little bit of that and lost home games. We saw, Broadmeadow Magic missed out on the opportunity to be crowned premiers, having to play here as well, and in front of that, they wanted to do that in front of their home crowd. Seen a number of clubs, Old Boys Day, etc., have been postponed, and Magic still to be determined whether their Old Boys Day and their semi-final tomorrow will be held at Magic Park or whether it will be here at Lake Macquarie. Ball played forward here, looking for Griffiths. Wowries is there and sends it back. Bond racing forward. Norton gets out to it. Langlois. And it's picked off by Wowries. Actually interesting, I did see a suggestion from some of the Magic faithful that their Old Boys, if it doesn't go ahead, they have the benefit, Harry, they can have their Old Boys during the Australian Championship.
Exactly. Obviously those fixtures coming out early Thursday morning.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see. Top Stanley clears this one away. If my memory serves, I think it's the Queensland NPL Premiers first up for Magic at home.
First up at home, yep.
It'll be exciting in October for Magic. We can't wait to see that as Joey Melmoth gets sniped in the box. Langlois. That's Lockie Griffiths. It's gone down in it. Ben Kennedy came out with a very strong opinion on the challenge. The referee's waved that away. Now he's checking on Lockie Griffiths. Doesn't look like there's too much in it from here, but again, official right on top of it. And Edgeworth, a chance to snatch one back, and again, Nick Curran just floating out off the edge of the 18-yard box. They go the short corner here. Rodwell. Now they cross back on the second effort, and it's headed back. Harrison gets his first of the year, and all of a sudden the cat is set amongst the pigeons. It's 2-1. The Edgeworth Eagles reduce the deficit here at Lake Macquarie.
Yeah, it was that delivery, that short corner method that you alluded to earlier. I think it might have been Jackson Brady with the initial ball, and nothing was stopping the tall timber of, I think it might have been Xander Waries. Tyler Harrison getting on the end of that one.
Change as well. Mickey Griffiths coming off after that knock, and going to be Miles Gaffney, I think, coming on. All of a sudden, game on here.
It's Carter Smith, I think, has entered the frame out on the right-hand side.
He's too. Fourth official did me dirty there with the number 18 up on the board.
Looks like Carter might go straight down the middle and push Cahill out to the right. But yeah, what a goal from the Eagles. That short corner routine paid off there.
It was just in slow motion. Harrison had all the time in the world, and I think everyone was a little surprised almost that it came off, but they've looked dangerous on those set pieces. A couple of different options, and as you say, that little routine, and now they push forward. Edgeworth. Melmoth gets a little touch, but Kennedy on top of it. Into the final 15 minutes here at Lake Macquarie, and my, oh my, we have a game on our hands in the minor semi-final.
We certainly do. The Eagles have grown into this one throughout the last 10 to 15 minutes. Although Jaffas have had chances to add a third.
Here's Cahill advancing forward. Waries is back there though. And get it back to Conway, who tries to clear it, doesn't get all of it. That ball just held up a little bit for Mason King, and he couldn't get to it. Bond slipping and sliding. Curran. Goo goes to ground. Curran. Power. They've got a few players starting to slip. Just those few drops of rain. I'm wondering if they're just making it a little greasy out there. Langlois thought he was going to wind up. Looked across it for Smith. Now Powiak's got the ball out in front of Brady. Feeds it in nicely. That's a lovely ball. Turnbull Powiak. Contest. Powiak's gone down. Clutching the ankle. Didn't look like a lot in the contest. It was just over the ball, but he certainly twisted awkwardly. Langlois will go forward. Powiak still down, the Edgeworth captain. They go wide. Taylor's there. He's got time and space. Cuts into the 18-yard box. Tries to feed it in. A little bobbling ball. Doesn't quite land kindly for Cahill. And Edgeworth will just play it out because Powiak is still down, prone on the turf. Not great for the Edgeworth captain, holding his ankle. Seems a little frustrated. The referee just reassuring him that he was comfortable with the contact by the look of the conversation there. And this will just take the steam out of the sails a little bit for both these sides. Momentum's going to be interesting coming out of this. Powiak back on his feet. Looks like he's got the all clear. He'll have to come off. He's walking pretty well, Harry. Into a jog now, which is a good sign. So always good to see a player back their feet and not hindered too much. Although no, we will see a change straight away, will we? Just trying to work out who's come on for it. Is that Riley Van Haren? It is. Edgeworth not risking Powiak because they know that if they do claim victory here today, they can't afford to be without their captain. With the Pedicano already out, already down one wide player. Playing it safe there. Nice ball out in front here. King will take a strike. Just across the face. That was not far away at all.
It certainly wasn't, and Mason King's had a few bright moments down that left-hand flank up against Sammy Donnellan. And that shot off that left foot, inches away from equalising. As the Jaffas look to their bench.
Tenchevsky getting ready to come, and it'll be Matt Cahill. His hopes of a hat-trick gone begging. I'm sure he'd trade a hat-trick for progression through to next week anyway. So Cruz Tenchevsky will slot onto the right of the attack. Oh, sorry, Oscar Krakenthorpe. I don't know where I got Cruz Tenchevsky from. I'm having a little daydream. I knew who it was in my head. the mental link sometimes, Harry. Oscar Krakenthorpe, of course, has been a key part of this side. Chris Stanchevsky hasn't seen quite as much time this year as Krakenthorpe. The ball pushed forward. Then Conway calls off his team and drives it down the line. Just over 10 minutes remaining. Pushed wide. Brady's been busy. Up against Goo here. Crosses it into the box. Goodman plays in the back of legs. Opportunity over the bar. That was a half chance for Van Haren. It was a certainly congested box.
Very promising chance there for Van Haren. Fell into the path of him and unable to convert there, but I think I'm not wrong in saying that Edgeworth knocking on the door here.
Certainly are performing well. Kennedy will take the goal kick here again, knowing that time is in their favour. It's an interesting one, managing the clock at this point when you've got a 1-goal lead, Harry. Obviously, you chew it down too much and then the other side gets a late equaliser. All of a sudden, you find yourself stranded. So you've got to balance it. This one put forward, looking for Goodman. McNaughton, dispossessed. Goodman comes away with it. Comes in again. Spills wide for King. Brings it down for Curran. Not quite sure whether he's shooting or crossing then. I couldn't tell you if he knew either.
I think that was looking for Riley Van Haren at the back stick, but like you mentioned, yeah, it's question marks over to what he was thinking there.
Yeah. Kennedy will take his time here, manage the clock. Topple Stanley offering a short option and he sends him downfield. Time ticking down. Could the Eagles pull something back at the death here? Or will it be the Jaffas continuing their march to making it 8 games unbeaten on a run and progressing to the preliminary final? One thing is for sure, one of these sides' season will be over later this afternoon. Who will it be? At the moment, Edgeworth, the likely candidate, but far from determined. Jackson pushes forward, driving down the line, cuts back. Krakenthorpe gets tangled up there. Peter McGuinness getting down and racing after the ball. Edgeworth pushing almost everyone forwards. Just Jackson holding out. Brady over the ball. Lofts it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. McNaughton gets ahead to it. Van Haren brings it down. Pushed forward. Pushed out again. Langlois there. It's back to back. And now Taylor racing away. Streaking down the left. Looking to pull it up so he can pass. They can shut down the avenues of the Eagles. Little touch outside the box. And the referee, no choice but to award a free kick there.
Done really well there, Riley Taylor. The free kick obviously cleared, and he was the man that cruised over halfway. Learns inside a free kick.
It's great awareness from Taylor. He realised that everyone was pushed up, so chance his hand, put on the afterburners, and create another chance here for the Jaffas. And maybe the piece they need just to return that margin to 2 goals. And we pat Bond over the dead ball. Numbers in the box. Topple Stanley heads it forward, headed off the line by Curran. Sam Danella was about to wind up from the top of the 18-yard box. Goo is back there. Chips it wide. Krakenthorpe. Topple Stanley, will he wind up and take a strike? No, he prods it into the box. Taylor now tries to curl it around the goalkeeper. It curls it around the goal post as well.
Yeah, I think he hit the net behind the goal here, and Nikolai Topple Stanley again choosing the option to pass rather than shooting.
Almost friendly fire there, and it falls nicely for Van Haren. He's got Brady around the outside, takes a strike, overcooks it, clears the crossbar by some gap. We'll have a goal kick. It's a weird day of weather here. I'll take it though over the rain we've had, Harry. The clouds are coming in, and then the sun will poke back out and go from cool to warm in a click of the fingers.
Exactly. I think you summed it up perfectly. I'd rather take this than rain.
Speaking of click of the fingers, that's what Edgeworth are looking for. Something to click their fingers and conjure a goal to level things up in the final 5 and a bit minutes of regulation time. Carter Smith gets up to the header. Goo racing forward, but Brady's there. Topple Stanley sends a header back. Wowry's looking to get up, but Smith wins out. Krakenthorpe feeds it wide. Taylor's been busy since he's come on, and here he is again on the edge of the 18-yard box. Goo's there. Will he wind up and take a strike? He will. Tries to feed it through. What a dive. Nice and calm. Nice and strong, Conway. He was going left and reacted well to come back. Goo brings it down. Pat Bond lofts it forward where Conway does well just to grab that on the right on the absolute outer extremity of his box. And Haran heads it forward. Topple Stanley comes flying through.
Those two have been so vital for the Jaffas today. We've seen Edgeworth throw attacks at them.
Yeah, just a little bit of a confrontation there between Pat Bond and the referee. Pat's going to be very careful because, again, carrying yellow cards into next week. I'm fairly confident we haven't seen one today, but where Lambton sit at the moment, they've got, I think, 3 players on yellow cards from last week, Harry. So the last thing they want to do, one of those is Jimmy Oates, who's injured, but Riley McNaughton and Topple Stanley. But the last thing they want to do is have Pat Bond going into the book unnecessarily. Carter Smith heads his forward. Lambton half-heartedly appealing for a foul there, but they won't be getting that. They're the little things that you have to be thinking about at this point if you're Pat Bond, while, you know, understandably emotional about the challenge that the referee one already had as Goo pushes forward. Krakenthorpe will take a strike, deflected. Jordan Goo ices it here. He gets a third for the Jaffas, and you'd have to think that will be enough to send the Lambton Jaffas to the preliminary final with just over 3.5 minutes remaining here at Spears Point.
That's a goal that they oh so craved. The Jaffas, I think David Tancheski's reaction on the sideline says it all.
Well, they're written off early in the season. A very slow start. Many pundits questioning whether they knew the way to goal. And again, another 3 goals in the back of the net today. They've been doing it with consistency, and that gets them very close to stamping their passport to the preliminary final next weekend up against the loser of tomorrow's major semi-final between the Magic and the Western Bears. And for Edgeworth, a season that promised so much early, looking like it'll be over in a flash now.
It doesn't. He's been oh so deserving of that. Jordan Goo, one of the more promising mid-season signings, and he's deserved that goal there.
A change here, Goodman coming off. Joey Smith will come on. And a few more drops of rain come in. Not completely done, but the fat lady's certainly warming up those vocal cords. This one's starting to get out of reach for the Eagles and need to quickly respond. Langlois nods it forward. Nick Curran, is he going to wind up and take a strike? Plays it off. Nice ball for King. King straight into the midst of Ben Kennedy. He'll try and milk as much time as he can. Interesting to see when we get to the 4th officials board shortly, Harry, what we end up seeing and how long we need to see Edgeworth fight through to try and remain one of the powerhouses of our competition. Their season may be done and dusted in the NPL first grade. Foul going the way of Edgeworth here, just over halfway. Plenty of emotion happening here at Lake Macquarie with all these finals games that have so much meaning to so many. Brady over this one, lofts it in. Headed away, taken on the volley by King. Ends up wide of the goals. That's a chance to hand now. I'll throw everything forward, and be interesting to see how aggressive they go over these last few minutes here, Edgeworth. Their season on the line, Lambton. Almost a foot and a half, you'd say, into next week's preliminary final, Harry.
Yeah, that's how it looks as it stands, isn't it? And just think Edgeworth didn't come out of the blocks fast today, although the game's not over yet. But as it stands, Lambton do or have booked their ticket to next week's final.
Can they just pull a rabbit out of the hat here? The Jaffas will push forward. They know the ball's played at this end. Things will sit in their favour. Taylor, can he reel this in? Just happy to see it across the line, just shy of the corner flag as rain starts to come in and almost usual transmissions resuming for the NPL this season.
Back to the normal life.
Brady with the throw. Waller prods it in. Harris comes out. Smith takes a strike. Deflection. Goo looking for a second. Takes another shot. Conway steps up back to back to back. Drives it long. They've got to go on the attack here, Edgeworth. They've got to find something instantaneously. The defence head it back and Kennedy scoops it up. The fourth official giving us 4 minutes of added time here. That's enough time for 2 goals, but they need to be quick and they need to be clinical, Edgeworth. Going to be some turnaround if they do pull it back. Woweries. Jordan Goo tries to push forward and ends up finding the middle of Oscar Krakenthorpe's side. Now it's chipped forward again. Denellen tracking, sends it back the other way. Bond, Curran, Bond drives it forward. Taylor going to try and turn Harrison inside out, gives it off to Carter Smith. One of those 2 former Valentine players we talked about alongside the man who got the 3rd goal in Jordan Goo. Bond, Langlois. Lays it down the line. Krakenthorpe will cross it into the box. Overcooks it though and it'll race away. Van Haren will track wide. Ball's gone out just before he got to it. 1 minute down. Time ticking away and you feel it's all but done now. They have to go backwards here. Brady goes to Conway. Conway drives long, looking for Melmoth. Gets a little nod on. King sneaks in behind. Can he get a strike away? Denellen just pushing him wide. He knows he doesn't have to stop him from going forward. Just close down his angle to goal, and he does that well, Sam Denellen. Jackson tracks across to Brady. Lambton just forming a block, trying to shut things down. Brady. Going forward, top of Stanley. Manages to drift back in. It will have crossed the line just after he kicked it, so we'll go back for a throw. Time ticking down here. Lambton inching closer. Goo throws himself into that. Brady comes away. Back to Woweries. They have to score here, Edgeworth, to keep their hopes alive. Lambton know that if they can hold them out just for a few more seconds, it will be enough to lock in progression to next week's preliminary final. They'll be hosted by the loser of tomorrow's major semi-final, currently scheduled for Magic Park. Lofted into the box. Krakenthorpe does well just to body out the attacker and allow it to go over the byline. Ben Kennedy going looking for the ball furthest away from his goals. A little bit of gamesmanship there, Harry, just trying to tick the clock down.
Yeah, the veteran showing his experience there, that's for sure.
Certainly is. Now I'll have a little meeting with Nikolai Topol-Stanley. I'll be talking about what's for dinner tonight. What else they can, anything else they can come up with. Just ask him, Once upon a time, those two would have been asking each other where they were going out tonight after the game, but I think now it'd be more so about, what sort of roast are you having at home tonight, Topol? Kennedy just really stretching out the clock as much as he can. Our referee will undoubtedly take that into account when he looks for how much added time beyond the 4 minutes. As they push forward here, Woweries a missed touch, and with that, with every time the ball spins away from the men in black, the percentage chance of the men in yellow going into next week's prelim skyrockets. Jaffas absolutely in no hurry now. I think Edgeworth have all but conceded. And now it will just be a tick down. The coaching staff for Lambton looking ecstatic over there as they continue to work around. I'm not sure what's happened here. Carter Smith's on the ground. We've now got a second football on the field. It's all happening. As Krakenthorpe works forward. Spins out. Doesn't quite go over the byline. Van Haren pushes it forward. Ryan McNaughton, could he get one in his 200th game? Wind up and take a shot, Ranger. The crowd would love to see. Wouldn't that be some way to seal this? He gets a little bump, but maintains his feet. He's just using up time now. Taylor. A few more raindrops come in. Lays it back to Waller. And the referee blows for full time. And the Jaffas roll on. Lambton's incredible run continues with a 3-1 victory. Makes them their unbeaten streak, I should say, to 8 matches as they march into the preliminary final. It was a classy, composed and clinical performance, and that's 3 titles in 4 years, still firmly within reach for David Tenchevsky's side. So, Harry, we spoke about their form coming in. How impressive was that continued performance from Lambton today?
Very impressive, and especially considering, you know, the way they've been performing this back end of the season. They've really built something special, and if I'm right, that makes it 8 unbeaten now. So another huge performance today, another confidence boost heading into next week.
Certainly is. It's been a fantastic afternoon of elimination football, and we hope you enjoyed every bit of it. Don't forget, we do have more football coming to you both today and tomorrow. This afternoon it will be the women's qualifying final, a spot for the grand final on the line between Charlestown Azzurri and Maitland FC. And tomorrow, the men's major semi-final and the women's elimination final. Lots to come, but on behalf of myself and Harry Scobie, thanks for being with us today, and we look forward to catching you further across the weekend and next week for more NPL finals action.